Hello again, this is Robert Veach here. This is my video review of the Berkling Store brand, their BSG-2000 cordless butane soldering torch kit, 5-way adjustable head, multi-functional soldering heat gun blowtorch, 90 minutes runtime when you fill it up with butane. There's 12 attachments and it has this really nice carrying case that is very heavy duty and has foam to keep everything from falling out. We're going to show you everything that's in here. So this has and this product gets excellent customer ratings, by the way. 5-way adjustable head, instant ignition and quick heat up, multi-purpose attachments on there, large fuel capacity, detachable base stand, TPA handle for comfort. So really cool product. So you can see the torch itself right here. Let's take this out first. And here's you pull this lever down and you could change all the angles on there. And that's handy when you want to use it in a different position. If you're doing a pipe, you're doing some soldering. This is the ignition right here. You hit that. If you look closely on there, you'll see a spark. And that's a piezoelectric spark on there. So to turn the gas on, there is this gas button right here. Now if you go to turn it, it doesn't move. It's locked in place for safety. So you have to push it down and then rotate it counterclockwise. And that's what increases the gas supply. Now, there are different attachments right here. This is the default one. You can see it's got some seals on there, and that plugs in like that. And then, of course, it has the cover with the heat shield that screws on. Now, that is the lower adapter that uses up a certain amount of butane per hour. And then the other adapter that they've included right here has a larger chamber, more oxygen, and you put that in when you want more power for soldering whatever you're doing. Here there's a little holder with a foam sponge. You put some water in there and you're all set. Below here is the actual instructions, how to use the device, and a little wrench. I'm going to show you what that's for. And this is a holder that allows you to hold this on a table like that while you're using the product. It'll keep it ready for you to use, which is really nice. Let's go over the other components right here. Here there are 4 soldering bits. Let's take a look at them close up. They're all a little bit different depending on what you're soldering, whether it's wire or a metal. You're going to pick the appropriate one that is right for you. There is an adapter right here that's included, and this adapter is what's providing the proper amount of airflow and has that soldering tip screwed right on there. So you can see right here there is a thread on the end of that, and this goes clockwise like that, and that's what holds the soldering bit on. If you want to thoroughly tighten it, you could use that included little wrench and you could lock it in place like that. Now the way this thing goes on is you remove this piece here like this, and you slide this included piece in there like that, and then it's going to go right back on, and you turn this clockwise and you're set. And now this bit will lock in position. You can change the angle to whatever way you want it for what you're going to be soldering just by holding it like that and turning this. And now the heat will disperse. It'll go through that oxygenator piece right there. This tip will heat up, it'll conduct through, and you should be able to solder by putting it on the metal. Now they do include a little spool of solder, which is nice. That's rosin core solder that you could use for your given applications. And then there is this piece right here that is a diffuser, and that could be used when you're trying to do heat shrink, and you slide that on just like that. You could leave the tip on or take the tip off, but without the tip, the heat will flow through there, and then you can just put this close to a heat shrink, and it should shrink it without melting it or burning it. That's a nice little touch. Now, in terms of getting this to operate and come on, let's show that next. But before we do that, I want to point out that the base of this has a standard filling canister interface right there. And if you look on the sides, they have a little window that shows you the level. So you take one of these butane fuels, shake it up like this, and you put it upside down like that. That's how you put this in. and then you push, and that's how you get the fuel inside, just like that. So let's give you an example. Right now I've got some fuel in there, and I've got the higher capacity nozzle on there, and I'm going to push this down, and I hear the gas coming out right here. If you listen, hit the spark, and you get a nice hot flame right there, and the air is being controlled there. That's how you get that really nice flame. And so you could regulate how big it is right here. You can see I can make it really small for precision work, or you could have it larger to really heat up something effectively. So here I have the smaller one on, not the red one, but the black one, and I have the tip on there, and you can hear the gas going if you listen, and this is heating up on there, and that should allow me to solder and be able to solder a wire. So here you can see I've got some solder on there, and it's nice and hot, and you could put a connection together with wire. So here's just an example. I have a wire right there, and I could turn on the torch, which I did. I can hear the flame. I can see a little bit of a flame right there. We can get this tip hot and then go across the connection. And once the connection is heated, then I can apply the solder, and then I have a good electrical connection right there. So this is excellent when you're in the field or you're on your house working and you want to solder something but you don't have an outlet. This allows you to do that. You can really feel the heat on that tip. Now I have the heat shrink plate on there, and I have the gas turned on, and I can let that, you see how it's glowing right there. It's got the flame inside there, and I could put the shrink tubing right here. I could also go like this, and you can see that it responds to it really fast, and that piece reflects the heat back, and that's what's nice. So it's not just sending it on one part, it's actually sending the heat across and reflecting it perfectly so that you could heat shrink something quite quickly. So that works really nice, as you can see. So here's another quick example. This is, I've got the stronger red valve stem in there, and I'm going to be just demonstrating. If you have a copper pipe in your house and you want to braise it before you put water through it, so let's just give this a try. We're going to push this down, put the gas on, ignite it, and we're going to build up the heat on the connection itself. And when it's the proper heat, you could start to introduce some solder, and you can back the heat off once it gets to a certain level. The solder will flow inside the connection, and then you can heat it again if it's not flowing evenly, just like that. Then you turn the gas off, and you're all set. Here's where the stand comes in handy, because you could have the stand hold the torch nicely while you're doing something like this. So that's a quick way to make beautiful solder joints in your house, your basement. If you're redoing a water pipe or something, this is a great tool to have for that. So after testing, what do we think about the Berkling store, their BSG-2000, their cordless butane soldering torch kit? This is a great product. I love the storage case it comes with. You want to have this in your workshop, your home, to be able to solder and do pipe work, like I showed with the copper, or to heat shrink tubing, or to solder any electrical connection. Two choices of power, sponge, solder, nice stand, well-written instructions, and a very durable case, as I mentioned, that's going to keep all this organized for you. So I'm impressed with the quality of this tool and how it worked. I'm going to give it a full 5-star rating. I hope this video review helped you with your buying decision. Thank you for watching.